For Honor is almost here. It's going to be a Valentine's gift from Ubisoft, and this is the man that conceived of this whole crazy scheme, I think, right?
Well,
this was your baby.
That's what they tell me.
Yeah, Jason VandenBerghe is the creative director on the game. A lot of buzz, a lot of hype, a lot of questions about this game because it's not traditional. This is not like Overwatch or something like that. We're not shooting at each other.
Yeah, this is all about swords. It's a whole new way to fight with swords, right? We have this new style of combat that we call the art of battle, which is all about getting you that feel of having the sword in your hand, being in the middle of that epic battlefield, having just enough skill that you really feel that one-on-one tension when you're dueling, right? But not so much that you're all up in your head about it, right? You keep it really natural, grounded, real visceral, immersive, right? Think of it as kind of like a shooter with swords in a way.
Roman Campos-Oriola is the game director for Honor, and this game is looking very hot, my friend. I had a really good time with our early play test right here. How are you feeling? We're close to the game being available for everybody.
Tired? No.
You can be honest. Go for it. Yeah.
No, I'm feeling good. It was really interesting to play with the community in the previous Close Alpha and get my ass kicked after just 2 days, and I had to take that ego, smash it away. No, it's really cool to be able to play with people, get feedback, etc. That early into the development, that was really awesome.
That is the thing about this game. You do feel like your ego is attacked in a very personal and vicious way. I was playing with Blake, who's shooting this right now, and he kept coming after me. F*** you, Blake. It was really painful getting my ass kicked by you.
You lost Zone C.
You, Vic.
When you're in the middle of it, you feel the intensity, you feel the danger all around you. You feel very vulnerable, but also very powerful.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the paradox of being a warrior, right? Yeah. You're on the battlefield and you're the best. You're super trained. You've brought all your armor. You brought your weapons. This is what you're here to do. But somebody's going to be dead at the end of this conflict, right? So your vulnerability and danger, they come together, right? And in the middle of that battlefield, right? You also we spent a lot of time working on that balance between I'm focused on you, we're fighting, and then whoa, is there someone behind me? And I got to pay attention to what's happening on the field, right? So we got a bunch of different modes for you to play, a lot of different ways to balance out that. You can go in that full 4v4 Dominion mode, but we've also got 1v1, 2v2 dueling, and everything in between.
One of the things that I appreciate about this game is the physicality of it, the ability to just sort of push people off and knock them off their feet. You feel like you're taking up space in this world, and you have weight.
Yeah. We spent a huge amount of time working on that. We have one of the most advanced animation systems, I think, in the gaming world, and we've spent a huge amount of time and effort with great performers, getting really great mocap, and then spending a lot of time and effort polishing and getting that sense of weight, because we wanted you to feel the power of your weapon, the strength of the characters that you're playing, right? Warriors are strong. Yeah. They swing these weapons for a living, right? So when you pick up somebody and then carry them halfway across the field and then toss them off a cliff, we really wanted that to pay off.
When did you guys start to nail down that it was going to be Vikings, Knights, and Samurai? Was that always the way that it was going to be?
It came in pretty quickly in the beginning, right? So the basis of the game was the mechanic, was like, let's fight with weapons and let's do this new way of fighting in a multiplayer environment. And then when we started talking about setting and world, I found myself like, we would have these conversations and we're like, so we want to have Knights, but maybe we should have Vikings too, but maybe we should have Samurai. Like should we do Knights or Vikings or Samurai? And we said that enough times that I started to think, well, I mean, f*** it, right? Yeah. Like, what if we just did all three? And the moment you say that, what I love about that pitch is when you say Knights, Vikings, and Samurai to people, right? It's that last one that spins you out, right? You go, what? Yeah. That didn't happen, right? Yeah. But it should have, right? Hey, guy, right? Yeah. And so we built, it came on pretty quickly. And what I love about that pitch is that everyone knows. I say Knight, Viking, Samurai, right? Yeah. It's like which one you are.
You have an emotional investment, right, from that phrase, right?
We picked our team, on the school ground, right, when we were kids, right? Yeah. So I think that's really at the heart of it. What kind of a warrior might you be, right? And those three great archetypes of like, am I a defender, a protector of the weak, right? Am I a knight? Am I a passionate, all out, just live life to the fullest, Viking? Am I a master, sort of a student of discipline, like the samurai? Those three great archetypes, that's what this game is asking you.
That's something that I definitely noticed playing this game, is that anything goes, and the physicality of the characters really is wide open. You use shields, you use you headbutt, you do all kinds of stuff in this game that isn't just hacking and slashing, right?
We really wanted to capture that fantasy of melee sword fighting,
Yeah.
where I have a weapon, but that's also a weapon. That's a weapon. All the parts of my weapons can actually be used to kill the opponents. And not only my weapons, but my environment around me. If I manage to grab you, throw you against the wall, you're gonna get stunned, and I might use that to attack you. Everything can be used as an opener.
Nice, you got him with an ace.
Good work, good work, good work.
Now, when you have those three archetypes, and you also have kind of three different sort of areas that you can be attacked from in the game, is it rock, paper, scissors at its core? Is sort of physicalizing that?
So there are two places where we have three things in the combat system. We have the three stances. We have right, left, and top, right? And there, it is rock, paper, scissors in that right, left, top part, because those are equal, right? Those are all equal to each other. And so what you're doing there is really just about where I'm holding my weapon, right?
Yeah.
But that's not really where the fighting system parts. We have another triangle that goes on where we have attacking, and then we have blocking, and then we have the guard break where we can go in and grab you, right?
Yeah.
And each of those cancels the other. And that creates that fighting system feel, and each of those is not equal, right? Attacking, blocking, and guard breaking have a completely different consequence, right? So it's the combination of those two systems that we think it's unique in games, and it's kind of our secret sauce.
Very nice. Now, how does the game differ from the single-player campaign to the multiplayer? What are you doing in single-player that you don't do in multiplayer, and vice versa?
So the single-player campaign is a full cinematic story campaign. So you're going to play as knights, and then you're going to play as Vikings, and you're going to play as samurai, all the way through. You're going to play as characters, right? And we're telling you the story of the War of Apollyon. The campaign takes place in the past, and the multiplayer game takes place in the present.
Okay.
So you're experiencing this campaign kind of through storytellers. And so you're going to play as named characters. You're going to experience the rise of this warlord Apollyon, right, who is really interested in everybody fighting each other. She believes in wolves and sheep. She believes in predator and prey, and is out to sort of liberate the wolves of every faction from being oppressed by the prey, right? And so you go through this tale of what happens to each of these three factions as Apollyon's plans kind of unfold and as war begins to spread across the world. So it's a full story. You're going to travel across all three of the various regions. You're going to play as a bunch of our characters, right, all the way through. You're going to be using the same mechanics that you're playing in multiplayer. So all along, everything that you're learning is great practice for carrying over into the multiplayer game. There's a little bit of difference in the way that some of our feats work. The feats are those extra powers like our catapult strike. In the multiplayer game, you can bring those in and say, I'm just going to use those. In the campaign, they become more like an inventory system where you can have pickups and stuff like that. Other than that, and some of the progression stuff, it's a very similar experience, just with a story, with missions to play, right, and a bunch of like intense, unique content built just for the campaign. So
awesome. Well, multiplayer, I think, is where the roots of this game really kind of were founded. You guys decided that multiplayer it had to work there first.
Yes.
And now you guys have this whole season structure. Why don't you take us into what you're planning there?
So here we're talking about, for the first time, the faction war. So the way that this works is, every multiplayer game that you play is scoring points, is earning you rewards that you can spend in the faction war for your faction. You're going to sign up when you start to play the multiplayer game. You're going to pledge allegiance to the knights, to one faction, Knights, Vikings, or Samurai, right? Yeah. And then every game you play, you earn these war assets, and you get to place them on the world map. And it's the same map that we have in the single-player campaign, right? But now the different territories are moving around based on how you play your wins and losses. The game is played over a series of rounds, which are played over every 2 weeks, right? Every 2 weeks, the one faction will win, right? And if you've played in that season and your faction is dominant, you're going to come out with extra rewards, with cool gear that you're going to be able to earn for your character, right? And then the world map will reset, and you'll be able to keep playing.
Okay, cool. And so, have you already got a season 2 mapped out at this point? Have you already started to think along those lines? And is it a totally different set of factions at that point?
So the world of For Honor is going to evolve based on what happens in our multiplayer faction war, right? Okay. Our first season is going to be the season is going to be 10 weeks long, right? Played over a series of rounds, 2-week rounds. And at the end of that, we're going to reevaluate. We're going to look at that world map. We're going to say what happened, right? And the idea is that we're going to sort of burn in the official lore of For Honor based on what occurred in that, what the players did over the course of that season. And then we'll stay in that core region. I think we're gonna stick around in that region, but then we'll make some adaptations and adjust, and you'll hear more about what we have in mind for that.
I mean, that makes sense to make a game like this in this age, where the player is as much a part of the sort of development these days, and these games go on a consistent basis and a persistent basis, right?
Exactly. That was really the hope, and we wanted to invest our multiplayer players in the ongoing history of this world, right? Make sure that you really feel like those battles are real, and make sure we're telling one world. Our world map is shared across platforms. So PS4, Xbox One, and PC. You're going to be playing with people who are on your platform in your matches, but all of the war assets that you spend in that world map status is shared among all of the different platforms. So it's all one official history. What you're doing in the faction war and For Honor, I hope people like it, right?
Jason, don't be nervous, man. This industry needs original ideas, and I love that Ubisoft has got behind you in this dream, and you got a big team making this. I can't wait for Honor, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Who do you think you are? War. I am war.
Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.